This is the Composer Corner. Composer Corner.
This Composer Corner podcast is looking at Ludwig van Beethoven. Beethoven was a German composer who is argued to be the defining figure of Western classical music. He was born December 1770, however nobody knows the exact date, and died in 1827 due to alcohol, hepatitis, cirrhosis and pneumonia. It is also questioned what year he was actually born. It was believed that Beethoven thought he was born in the year 1772, 2 years later than he was actually born, because his father wanted him to seem more advanced for his age than he actually was. I mean, all our parents are proud of us, but is this a bit far? Beethoven moved to Vienna in 1792, where he was able to meet extremely influential composers such as Haydn. Beethoven published his first composition when he was just 12 years old. If that wasn't impressive enough, he was written in the key of C minor, which was strange for this time, and it was very challenging to play. When I was 12, I was making sure I didn't miss my TV programme. Bit embarrassing in comparison to this musical genius, isn't it? Now, it's no secret that Beethoven was an incredible composer, with some of his works including Moonlight Sonata No. 14 in 1802, the Eroica Symphony in 1804, which went on to redefine the symphony completely. However, what makes Beethoven just that little bit more special is that he was deaf. Yes, that's right, Beethoven composed these pieces while suffering from hearing loss, which began in 1796. Despite his increasing deafness, by 1802, Beethoven was almost at breaking point. On a retreat just outside of Vienna, he wrote, "I would have ended my life. It was only my art that held me back. It seemed to me impossible to leave the world until I had brought forth all that I felt was within me." This was published in 1828. Even being deaf, Beethoven was a very popular composer. However, he really had to keep his work up in order to maintain a comfortable living situation. A group of Viennese nobles grouped together to support Beethoven with an annual salary of 4,000 florins just to stay in Vienna for them as a resident virtuoso and composer. This made Beethoven the first musician ever to receive a salary just for composing whenever and whatever he wanted. You're probably now thinking, how on earth did he manage to compose these amazing sonatas and symphonies whilst he was deaf? When his hearing was only mildly impaired, he would use ear trumpets to compose at the piano. He would also use a wooden stick between his teeth to feel the vibrations when he played. The higher frequencies are present in his later works again. By this time, he was completely deaf, and he was only able to imagine the sound of the composition. He's kept sketchbooks, which has helped us understand how he managed to compose whilst being in this position. It doesn't really have information about the composition itself, but still gave us an understanding of how he managed to do such amazing things whilst having no hearing. He would communicate with his friends by having them write in conversation books. Is this the 1800s version of texting? Who knows? Maybe they're the real trendsetters. Beethoven was a big fan of composing for the piano, as at this point in time nobody had really written music for the piano, as the harpsichord was big in fashion. It had been suggested that as much as he enjoyed playing the piano, he hated teaching it, unless his students were very attractive women or very, very talented. By 1793, at age 22, Beethoven often played the piano in the salons of the Viennese nobility and quickly established himself as a piano virtuoso, playing preludes and fugues from Bach's well-tempered clavier. Well, it's pretty easy to say that Beethoven was an extremely talented and influential figure of his time, and we are still enjoying his music to this day. I hope you enjoyed learning about the man, the myth, the legend, Ludwig van Beethoven, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the podcasts.
This is the Composer Corner. Composer Corner.